Welcome to the Traditional Way podcast brought to you by the Martial Arts Internet Network. I am Brett Shumway, and on this episode, we'll be reviewing the results from the Premier League Series A event in Portugal and discuss the future of the WKF. I want to start by acknowledging the new format for the World Championships and the introduction of the World Championships that will take place in Spain in 2024. Now, to be honest, I'm still a little skeptical on the World Team event. I understand that the WKF wants to break up individual and team events to give the athletes that do both more time to prepare for the team events. And I also admit that the team kata is one of the most dynamic and fun divisions to watch. But I can't see the point in an event that only has 4 divisions with male and female team kata and team fighting. With the new championships, one benefit is that we will be seeing more team divisions at events that typically didn't offer them prior to this year, as the teams will need to qualify for the event for those who haven't already qualified. They haven't said if they will now rank teams like they do in every other division. That is something that hasn't been announced at this time. Hopefully, they will introduce more divisions that will offer up at the team event. But at this time, they haven't mentioned anything other than the team kata and team fighting. I would love to see mixed teams make it into the traditional world as it has on the open circuits, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen and what's in store for the World Team event after its introduction next year. As for the new World Championships format that'll be introduced in Cairo in 2025, I'm going to start by saying I am not a fan. They're looking to move to a round-robin format like they do in the Premier League, so they will only have 32 athletes per divisions. With that format, they are leaving a lot of countries out of the mix, making the World Championships more exclusive than has ever been prior to this new format. And this is where I have the biggest issue. I don't see a reason why every country that's within the WKF cannot be represented at the World Championship. The way it has always been done is why the WKF has been considered one of the most credible World Championships in traditional karate. They have more countries and competitors at their worlds than any other circuit. Now that is all gone. No longer will you have long shots competing for a title. Athletes like Mahdi Kotabahashi from Iran that came into Budapest ranked 100th in the world and fought his way to a silver medal. That's never going to happen now that we're going to a 32 athlete round robin thing for the World Championships. I think that's a travesty to the sport. We'll have to wait and see if the new format will continue after 2025. But for now, it's official, and I will break down how those 32 competitors will be chosen on a later episode. To be honest, guys, I'm still looking over the criteria for selection, and I don't want to talk about it until I fully understand the process. But I will bring you that information on a later show, so you guys are all informed on how it's going to work. As for now, let's break down the results from Matoshinos, Portugal, where the final Karate 1 Series A event took place. In Series A tradition, this was a huge event, with both kata divisions having over 115 competitors, as competitors make their last move to move up in the rankings, attempting to find a spot in the Premier League events next year. Here are the results. Starting with the minus 50 kilogram division, Slovakia's Natalia Vargova easily wins over French woman Sofia Boderbane with a score of 5-0. This win moves Vargova up into the 14th spot in the world rankings to end the year. German fighter Mia Beitsch moves into the top 20 in the world after beating Finland's Venel Kartunen 1-0 to narrowly win the gold in the minus 55 kilogram division. In the minus 61 kilogram division, we find Spain's India Garcia defeating Ashley Carque from the Netherlands 6-3 to take the gold and securing the last guaranteed spot in the division for the Premier League next year. Talia Sombre from France wins 3-0 over Slovakian Sara Cordova to take the minus 68 kilogram division and moved into the 24th ranking. And in the over 68 kilogram division, Amelie Luki from Germany wins over decision by Turkey's Zenti Gabala to top the division and secure a guarantee spot in the Premier League next year. In the team kata division, one of Spain's teams wins the gold over the home country of Portugal in the final matchup. It is to note that Spain had 3 teams in the top 10 in this division, coming on pretty strong for a country hosting the first Team World Championships next year, with the other team from Spain and Turkey taking bronzes in the division. And in what is a packed women's kata division, Mishima Kiri takes the gold over countrywoman Utsunomiya Reina by 2 points. Spain's Paola Garcia Lozano and Japan's Nakaji Hisami take home bronze medals. The places for this division will have a huge impact on the Premier League next year. Paola's bronze moves her into the last seeded position in the division, and Hisami will come in ranked 19th. And what may be the fastest ascent in the world rankings is Kiri. She has only competed in 2 events, the Series A in Larnaca and this one where she has won gold in both and now has a world rank of 23. Whatever impact these ladies will have next year is going to be fun to watch on the Premier League. In the men's minus 60 kilogram division, David Tekashava from Georgia wins his first WKF gold by Senshu over Martin Drak from the Czech Republic, in a match that ended up tied at 2, securing his spot in the Premier League next year. Home country's Joaquim Mendez defeats Frenchman's Younessi Salmi 2-0 to win gold in the minus 67 kilogram division and moving him up into the last seeded position for the Premier League. France's Enzo Berthon wins the minus 75 kilogram division by decision over Ukrainian Hirori Pitzel, securing the world number 4 spot with his victory. In the minus 84 kilogram division, Turkish fighter Hassan Arslan moves into the 19th ranking spot after winning with a score of 3-0 over Frenchman Adrien Marquet. And in the last fighting division, 2 Iranian fighters duke it out in a final match, with Salih Abarze winning over World Championships bronze medalist Sahid Ghanzadeh 6-2 to win the over 84 kilogram division. Both of these gentlemen are guaranteed a spot in the Premier League next year. Just like the women's division, the men had 3 Spanish teams in the top 10 in the Team Kata division, although the men did not fare as well as the ladies, as Team Japan won over one of the Italian teams, with the other team taking bronze alongside Team Turkey. In the men's kata division, Japan came in heavy for this event, with 5 Japanese athletes placing in the top 10. But it was all for naught, as American Ray Chinen takes gold with his Super Empe over Yuki Saito's Chatnaro Kusanku. This is Ray's second gold medal in as many Series A events this year, guaranteeing him a spot in the Premier League next year as he moves into the 23rd ranking. Japan's Yoshiro Machida and Italy's Alessio Ginami take bronze. I want to take the time to talk about the future of America's presence in the male kata division. Now, we can all stand in amazement of what Ariel Torres has done in the past couple of years, and the fact that he now stands in the number 2 spot in the world. And I'm not taking anything away from that. That's huge, and he might have the best ranking American has ever had in this division. But for America to really stand out, it can't only be Ariel. There has to be more than just him to make the point that they are to be taken seriously in this division. Now, what the U.S. team is doing in the junior, cadet, and under 14 divisions give great hope for the future. And I'd like to acknowledge that Coach Jarrett Liker out of Kansas City has done a lot with those young men and women in the youth league and all the success that they have had. But who is going to bridge the gap between Ariel and those kids? There was some hope with Mason Stowell after his silver at Nationals, but he has not been as active this year. Taishi Tozaki is present, but he has fell out of the guaranteed spots for the Premier League, needing at least 4 of the top 32 to not participate so he can get into the event. Cal De Silva has shown a lot of promise, but he has opted to do more U21 divisions and invitational events. Any one of these guys are capable of joining Ariel and making that splash on the Premier League in the future that I've already predicted that America will make in the next couple of years. But as of right now, the person has to be Ray Chinen. He won the 2019 U21 World Championship and has won the only 2 Karate 1 events that he has done this year. Coming off this latest win in Portugal and now guaranteed a spot, he has to join Ariel and Gakuji Tazaki on the Premier League in 2024. I believe between the 3 of them, America will see more medal positions next year if they are present. And lastly, I want to follow up on a statement I made in earlier shows. I posed the question, are we going to see an emergence of Shotokan competitors in the WKF? And I gotta believe we are. Now, they've always been there, but the emergence I'm talking about is the success that they are having. For example, Kazmoto has medaled in every event that he has been in throughout this year. His little brother Ryuji beating Ariel at Dublin was a big win and a great comparison of Shotokan versus a top-ranked Shito-Ryu competitor. Additionally, both Japanese teams at the World Championships demonstrated a strong Shotokan presence and won golds. And let's not forget the success of guys like Enes Özdemir from Turkey that has had a great past 2 years. And lastly, Ali Sofoglu winning the world title this year and becoming the first Shotokan world champion in the men's division since 2008 when Luca Valdesi won it. I believe we will see more and more Shotokan being done in 2024. And why are we seeing this? I believe we are seeing a new type of Shotokan performance. Now, before I lose you guys with that statement, they're not changing the katas. Shotokan remains one of the most unchanged styles when it comes to the movements in their katas and how documented and precise it is taught throughout the world. So what's changed? Well, I believe 2 things. Number 1, the cadence of the kata is changing slightly, which changes how the performance flows and adds entertainment value to the performance. And number 2, the speed of the kata. These athletes, and yes, I mean athletes, are training at the level that most martial artists are not. Therefore, the speed that they are making their transition and turns are at a whole new level than what we've seen in the past. The sports-specific training that is going on with forms athletes currently are taking those forms and transforming them into a new level of competition that allows them to compete with the Shida-Ryu forms that, let's be honest, have 2 or 3 versions of the same kata being allowed on the WKF that may or may not fit a competitor better than the Shotokan katas do. I, for one, am happy to see this. Nothing is worse than all the competitors in a division doing the same kata. That is horrible for the sport in terms of growth and especially as a spectator sport. Well, we see if this trend continues in 2024. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching another episode of The Traditional Way. Continue to support the Martial Arts Internet Network as we attempt to bring you all the information that's happening in the sport karate world. I will see you guys next episode with the results from the final Karate 1 Youth League event. Till next time, guys.